Mall Santas of Reddit, what is the weirdest thing a kid asked for Christmas? After waiting 2 hours in line, my daughter asked Santa for a hot dog. My daughter asked for pancakes one year. It was very cute. But then I had to get up and make pancakes on Christmas morning instead of being lazy. My daughter is 2 and this was her first year talking to Santa. She asked for pancakes too. Reindeer eggs so he could start his own franchise. That kid's name? Jeff Bezos. Stunks, if you ask me. I'm a teacher. I had one of my most difficult obstinate button pusher kids come in at recess to talk to me. He said he was worried he would not get what he really wanted, to be a real elf, move to the North Pole, and make all the presents. He had tears in his eyes, and was the most sincere I had ever seen. Made me really appreciate how hard life was at home. He just wished for a way out. When I was like 9, I wrote a goodbye letter to my parents telling them Santa was going to pick me up and take me to the North Pole. I sat out in our car and waited on Santa to show up and take me away. The most dumb thing about this was that it was the middle of the summer. That's not dumb. They gotta make the presents year round. Source materials, coordinate shipments, hire contractors, repair machinery. It's a year-round business. Summer would actually be prime time to hire. Some kids act out the most in the place they feel the safest. It's sad when they feel safer with their teacher than with their own parents, but it says wonderful things about you as a teacher. Many years ago, a small girl would not tell her mother what she wanted for Christmas. Mom told me the problem, and I was to tell her after the kid jumped off my lap. The little girl hopped up and told me she wanted some makeup and some tits. Okay, now I have to tell mom. Did you end up telling her mom? And what was the expression on her face? She turned bright red. My uncle was a Santa, and he told me that one year a kid asked for a coffee maker because he wanted to start his own Starbucks coffee stand instead of a lemonade stand. Apparently business was not very good as a lemonade stand, but he noticed a lot of adults drink coffee, so he'd make coffee. That kid is probably a millionaire now. My older daughter, 10, timed her lemonade stands for when there were open houses in the neighborhood and she could catch all the strangers coming to look at the new house. She also talked her sister into being the frontline seller because people like buying things from cute little girls with blue eyes. It was both some impressive observation and somewhat creepy how matter of fact she was about it. I just hope she doesn't end up becoming the next Elizabeth Holmes. She has a good instinct for marketing. I know the weirdest thing I asked for was a pen that could write like a pen, pencil, marker, and crayon. I'd never seen one, but was sure Santa could make it. I got a 4-color pen instead. All they needed to do was put a marker on one, a crayon on another, and a pencil in the last. Was a Santa at a party last year. A kid asked for a whistle that she could blow at night to wake her mom up and scare her when she was sleeping. I said no, that would put you on the naughty list. Let your mom sleep, you little gremlin. Mom laughed. I wish I could casually refer to kids as gremlins without being vilified. I was an assistant manager for a mall Santa with no programs. There was a special needs 20-something black guy that would come by nearly every day. He easily weighed more than 250 pounds, so we did eventually convince him to sit next to Santa instead of on his lap. Every time he had to remind Santa what he wanted for Christmas. His list was Home Alone on DVD, Straight Outta Compton on DVD, and Prince's 1999 album on CD. Santa was awesome and brought him the Prince CD a few days before Christmas. During college, I was a department store Santa. One little girl, with her mother looking on at a distance, whispered, "Please bring a boyfriend for mommy. Ever since daddy died she's been so lonely. That's what I really want for Christmas, Santa." I looked up at her loving mother and back at the girl and felt a lump in my throat. Missed opportunity. Daddy looks a lot like Santa. Give your mom this magic number, and when she calls it, a handsome guy will answer. Wait for results. So we took my kids to see Santa, and when asked what she wants for Christmas, she says, a surprise. Santa was so surprised he didn't know what to say. What is the surprise? You can't keep us hanging. We won't know till Christmas. Shh. Not a Santa, but I have been a Mrs. Claus for the last few years, and I always ask the kids what they want while we do our crafts. My favorite was this 4 to 5-year-old girl that told me she wanted one of those loud horns. She made a gesture like she was using those canned air horns, and she made a little horn sound. She said she wants to use it to wake up her baby brother when he naps in the daytime, so he knows what it's like. Good reasoning skills. That kid's going places. I was a Santa in 1997 for a small authentic Old West village. I was 17 at the time and doing some local theater, and the costume lady was asked to find someone to be Santa for the weekend. She told me she thought of me because, well, you're not fat, but you're big. I'm 6'6". So I put on a cheap costume that didn't fit well, and the beard smelled like the last Santa threw up in it, and I waited in a prop shed in the plaza that was normally a sheriff office or something. Tall, skinny, smelly Santa in a shed sitting on a plastic lawn chair. It was no wonder all the children screamed when they were put on my lap. None of them asked for anything, in fact, as they were too busy being scared of me. Except for one young lady who was probably older than me and severely mentally disabled. Her parents were so apologetic because she was too old, but she sat on my lap and smiled at me with total naked joy. I can still see her face 20 years later. I had a pair of girls and later a pair of guys from the local Christian high school dressed as elves on the first day to take Polaroids and collect money. On the second day they flaked, and I was by myself all day. I charged people money to enter my creepy shed and take pictures of their own kids. Sounds like it was a pretty horrible experience. Not a Santa, but when I was 4 I asked Santa to get rid of my dad's cancer. Santa cried, Mom cried, I was confused. Dad died on Christmas that year. That entire statement was a roller coaster I was not prepared for. Not a mall Santa, my friend was one. He said that the weirdest thing he heard from a kid was a husband for his mom. That's sweet. Unless she already had a husband/boyfriend. When he was feeling better, my father-in-law looked just like a real Santa. I used to mess with him around Christmas when we were out and about with a quick, Rudolph needs to get back to the pole, we need to hurry. I got a lot of really great looks from kids. The best was a shy little girl that came up and asked for some specific doll. Without missing a beat he says, I'm not sure what the heck that is, but I'll have Legolas look into it. He always acted grumpy about, but we all know he loved every second. My dad also looks like a Santa. Amusingly, he dresses more like a Hell's Angel or cowboy. He never was a biker or anything, but big guy, long hair, leather jacket. So many kids would be like, look, Mom. Santa. Or it's a cowboy. And the parent would turn to look, and just a look of oh, no. On their face and rush the kids off. Honestly, Dad is a big softie, so he is amused by both reactions. He told me recently a guy came up to him and said, I've been real good this year. And Dad replied, okay, what do you want her to look like? And the guy gave him a weird look and said, oh, I'm not into that. And then later Dad saw him walking arm in arm with another guy. Pretty sure Dad was being hit on. Not a mall Santa, but once my sister asked Santa if she could have a horse's head and an ice cream cone. She explained that she was gonna paint the ice cream cone the color of the horse, stick it on, mount the horse's head to the wall, and tell her friends she killed a unicorn. She doesn't remember. I once asked for bread with no crust. Come Christmas Day, I actually got an entire loaf of bread with no crust. Did you get other stuff as well, or was it a super easy out for your folks? I got other stuff as well, but the bread was definitely the highlight of my Christmas. I got 2 loaves of crustless bread, and I'm pretty sure I deleted them both in less than a week. Not a Santa but an elf. I read a letter, maybe I shouldn't have, from a child who asked for a dolphin, specifically not autistic. Not sure if he had had a bad experience with disabled dolphins or what, but he was about 6 years old. He's learned the hard way that wishes need to be extremely specific. I once asked Santa for my parents to get a divorce. Smart kid. Twice the presents. Savage. My 3-year-old son asked Santa once for a baby rhino. Santa told him that the baby rhino's mama would be very sad to lose her baby though. Then my son said, okay, well I'll take the mama too, maybe she can sleep in my mom's bed. Good comeback by a quick thinking Santa, haha. There was a joke a radio host told that I heard about 10 years ago also, and there was a mall Santa and this kid, and the kid wanted a tanker truck that had a hitch or crane/hook or something, and when it comes time to tell Santa what he wants, the kid says, I want a truck with a hooker. What a coincidence, kid, your dad asked for the same thing. Not Santa. My kid, when he was younger, had a habit of visiting Santa once to ask for gifts, and then a few more times during the season just to say hi. Mom? Can I see Santa? There's no kids over there, and he looks lonely, so I could hang out with him. Santa came to daycare. I didn't ask him for presents, I just reminded him that I was good this year. Not the weirdest, but my favorite thing I have heard a kid ask for. At my daughter's preschool, there was a Santa. Kids were asking for the usual things, like toys and unicorns. One little girl goes up. You can tell she is thinking really hard. She asks for 2 rolls of tape. Dream big, kid. One year my cousin only asked for tape for Christmas and his birthday. He had created this superhero called Tapeman who saved the world with tape. His mom even made a really awesome costume for him. He definitely got a lot of cool pattern duct tape that year. Worked as an elf for a couple years, and we had this wish jar that you could put slips of paper in. A little girl wrote something down on a piece of paper and folded it and quietly slipped it into the jar. The mom came rushing back after they left asking if we could get the paper out of the jar for her. She unfolded it, and in crayon it said, I want dad to come home. The mother started crying and took it with her. Got some other weird and sad ones, but that one hit me right in the feels. Not technically a mall Santa, but my neighbor was a Santa for a community brunch years ago, and a little girl asked for a cheeseburger. Not that odd on its own I suppose, but an odd request for the holiday, and from such an important and magically being. My kid asked Santa for Thor's hammer. Christmas morning he opens up Thor's hammer. So happy. First thing he did was chuck it across the living room and into the kitchen. Dishes smash, glass all over the floor. Kid was ducking, pissed it didn't come back to him. The look on his face. Pure Christmas devastation. Not a Santa, but I personally remember once asking for a goat and a sniper rifle. Did you upgrade from ants and a magnifying glass?